Did ancient humans get high? Humans and cannabis. A 10,000-year experiment. Let's check the receipts because the answer isn't just yes or no. It's a story. Exhibit A, 10,000 BCE, Central Asia. This is where wild cannabis first grew, all across the steppes. Picture it. Endless grasslands, woolly mammoths in the distance, and these hardy green plants with serrated leaves popping up everywhere. Back then, we weren't thinking about getting high. We were thinking about surviving. First use? Food. The seeds are packed with protein and omega-3s. You could crush them, roast them, or just pop them straight in your mouth. Nutritious, calorie-dense. In a world where your next meal wasn't guaranteed, that mattered. But did it get you high? No. Seeds don't have THC, so no high yet. The stems made fiber, and this is huge, because fiber means rope, and rope means tools, traps, fishing nets. It means you can tie things together, carry things, build things. Hemp fiber is one of the strongest plant fibers on Earth. So we stripped it, twisted it, and suddenly we had the first clothes that weren't animal skins. First sales, first paper, eventually. But again, still no high. You can't smoke a rope. Then came fire. Exhibit B. And this is where human history takes a turn, because fire wasn't just for warmth or cooking meat. Fire was the first technology. It let us see at night. It let us ward off predators. It let us sit around and tell stories. And eventually somebody, we don't know who, had an idea. Did ancient humans get high? Accident number 1 in human history. Somebody tosses dried cannabis in the fire. Maybe it was to keep the flames going. Maybe it was just yard waste. We'll never know. But dried cannabis plants burn. And when they burn, the heat activates the THC. And when THC goes airborne, well, the smoke smells different. Sweet. Herbal. Pungent. If you've ever been near a campfire, you know how smell pulls you in. So they get curious. They lean closer. They breathe deeper. And then the contact. High. So yes, the first time ancients got high, it was by accident. Sitting too close to the fire. Breathing in secondhand smoke. Dizzy. Giggly. Weird feelings they'd never had before. Nobody knew what THC was. Nobody had words for psychoactive. They just knew campfire was fun now. Campfire was different. But did they do it on purpose after that? That's the real question. Because an accident is one thing. Ritual is another. So let's check the record. 2737 BCE, China. Emperor Shennong, the divine farmer, writes the first medical text mentioning cannabis. He's called the father of Chinese medicine. And in his pharmacopoeia, he lists cannabis, Emma, for over 100 ailments. Gout, malaria, rheumatism, and absent-mindedness. Which is interesting, right? He's prescribing it for pain, for fever, but also for your head. Medicine? Absolutely. Recreational? Maybe. The line was blurry back then. You didn't go to a dispensary. You went to the emperor's herbalist, and he knew which plants did what. 1500 BCE, India. The Atharva Veda, one of the oldest sacred texts in the world, calls cannabis one of 5 sacred plants. It says it was a gift from the gods to release us from anxiety. Not just medicine, sacred. Spiritual. They called it bhang. They didn't smoke it. They drank it. Ground cannabis mixed with milk, spices, almonds. Drunk during Houli, the festival of colors. Used to connect with the divine. So now we're not just talking pain relief. We're talking intentional ritual use to change your state of mind, to dissolve the ego, to feel joy and grief and everything in between. Together. 1550 BCE, Egypt. The Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical documents ever found, prescribes cannabis for inflammation, for glaucoma, for hemorrhoids. And here's the kicker. Ramses II, the most powerful pharaoh, was buried with it. Cannabis pollen was found in his mummy. So it wasn't just medicine for the living, it was an afterlife kit. You brought it with you because whatever it did, relieve pain, calm fear, open the doors of perception. It was important enough to take to the next world. But all of that is text, writing. What about hard proof? Physical evidence that ancient humans actually inhaled it? 500 BCE, the Pamir Mountains in what's now Western China, the smoking gun, literally. Archaeologists excavated a 2,500-year-old cemetery, and they found 10 wooden braziers, basically ritual incense burners. Inside, burnt residue. They ran lab tests, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. The results, high THC cannabis. Not the low THC hemp used for rope, the strong stuff, burned intentionally in a closed ritual context. Mourners were getting high at funerals. This isn't theory. This is chemical residue. This is fact. And it wasn't isolated. Meet the Scythians, nomads from 900 to 200 BCE, ranging from Ukraine to Siberia. They lived on horseback. They were fierce. And they had a ritual. Greek historian Herodotus wrote about them in 440 BCE. He was there, or at least talked to people who were, and he describes it in detail. After funerals, the Scythians would pitch a small wool tent. They'd put red-hot stones in a wooden bowl. They'd toss cannabis seeds and flowers on top. Then, they'd close the flap. Herodotus wrote, "The Scythians howl with pleasure." Ancient hotbox. Confirmed. 2,500 years ago. Intentional. Communal. Ritual. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe for more next time. We'll talk about, did ancient humans get drunk? Until next time. Thanks for watching.